In the last video, you already learned about root. How can you write down the fractional indices in form of root? An example, I will summary about that a little bit. You got the number x line here and you got 1/2. The power number here is fractional number, so we call here the rational indices. About the rational indices, you will make about the root. 1/2 is mean square root, but the full writing for this one is 2 here and x here. But about the special number, if you got 2 root, it means you don't need to write down anything, just square root like this one. And when you got 1/3, it means you will work with 3 or cube root. You will have to write out the number 3 in this position, and then you got x in here. And the same thing when you got another rational indices. You got 1/9, it means you got 9 root of this question. Okay. And how about if you got the power number is the fractional with the numerator different to 1s? What does that mean? It means you got not 1/3 in here. Sometimes you will got 2/3 or you will have 7/9. So how can you write down the form these indices in form of root? It means you got 3 in the denominator, so you will got 3 root. And the power numbers 2 here will apply for x inside the root. So the same thing for this one, you got 9 root will be outside, and inside the root you will got x to power of 7 like this one. Yeah, that's a little bit revised about the rational indices, but in this video I want to tell you a little bit more about this one. When you combine rational and the negative power number. Example, I'm got 7 and minus 1/3. So how can you work with this? About the negative indices, you have to remember about the reciprocal. When you got the negative power number like here, you should remember about the reciprocal for changing from the negative indices become to the positive indices by this writing. And for the same thing for here, I don't want to work with negative power number. So I have to change this one become to positive by taking reciprocal of 7. It means 1/7. And the outside will be 1/3. So from the negative indices, it becomes to the positive indices. And then I will apply the same idea about the rational indices. It means take square root like here, and then write down in this position is 3. It means cube root. And on the fraction 1/7, I have to write down for this writing. And for here, I need to note you about how you can show your writing correct way. Example, a lot of my students have writing here like this one. Some of them will be write down in here over 7. Okay, so which one will be the correct answer? The correct answer have to be the root will be covered on this fraction. This root signal have to be covered on this fraction. So on this fraction have to be under the root. So this one is not correct answer. This is incorrect answer, but this one is will be right. And you should not write down the root by this writing. It cannot cover on the fraction. You should write down the root have to be bigger, maybe 2 lines for this root, and then you will write down 1/7 in this position. Another way for writing here, you can apply 1/2 here, and the denominator is 7, 1/3 for the power number of 7. When you got 1, it means cube root of 1 for this writing. And when you got 7 to power of 1/3, it means cube root for 7 by this writing. And then you can simplify it very easily. It means be 1 over cube root of 7 by this one. Cube root of 7 by this one. Okay, so you got 2 ways for write out these indices. The first way will be here very correctly, and for another one will be this here. They are the same, equivalent together. Okay, So move to another question. How about you got 9 minus 1 over 2? How can you work with this one? The first step for this kind of question, you have to change from negative indices become to positive indices. That is the first step, very important step. You should not work with negative indices. Never work with negative indices. Convert that become to positive by take reciprocal 1 over 9 inside the bracket and the outside will be 1 over 2. And after that you will got square root like here, square root 1 and over 9 here. And all this square root signal have to be covered on this fraction 1 over 9 by this one. And for doing that, you should write down a bigger square root signal like here. And after that, you can separate the numerator and denominator by this one. And here is 1 and here is 3. So 1 over 3 will be the final answer for this question. Yeah, and one important operation about the root you should want to learn about here. One square root cover all a over b. You can separate this become to the square root of numerator and square root of denominator by this writing. And another example, you got m over n, so you got square root of m divided by square root of n in here. One more example about negative fractional indices. You have 10 minus 1 over 4. So how can you work with this question? The first one, I have to convert negative become to positive indices by take the reciprocal of 10 is mean 1 over 10 here. And then 1 over 4 will be outside the bracket. After that, I'm got 4 root bigger signal for all 1 over 10. And then you got 4 root of 1 and 4 root of 10. Here is 1 and here is 4 root of 10 by this writing. Okay, so another example, and of course it has to be a little harder. You got 2 over 3 and then you got minus 1 over 3 by this writing. So reciprocal of 2 over 3 is very easy for recognizing, right? You will got 3 over 2 by this step. And 1 over 3, negative 1 over 3 will be converse to the positive 1 over 3 here. And 1 over 3 is mean cube root. 1 over 3 is mean cube root. 3 over 2 by this one. And after that, I will apply cube root for separately numerator and denominator. Okay, we finish this writing. Yeah. And the last question and the last example, you got 7 over 9. And the outside is negative 1 over 10. How can you work with this one? You cannot, you will have 10 root of 9 over 7. So after that, you got 10 square root of 9 over 10 root of 7. 10 root of 7. Yes, I think it's not too difficult, but a little bit more complicated than the rational indices or negative indices together. So when you combine two things in one power number, it's not easy anymore. Yes, thank you so much for watching this video, and we move to another harder level of this one. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.